Welcome everyone. We're going to take just another moment to allow more people to enter the room, but then we'll get started shortly. Okay, I think we can get started now. Welcome everyone to the fourth and final day of our virtual IP capacity building workshop. We are starting our first session, which is theme 10, excuse me, which will cover two different programs, WIPO Match and WIPO Sequence. And so we have with us for this session two speakers from WIPO. The first is Mr. Bajoe Wibowo, who is a project manager of WIPO Match in the Office of the Deputy Director General at WIPO. So Mr. Bajoe Wibowo is a national of Indonesia and has been working for 23 years at the World Intellectual Property Organization and has represented WIPO as a speaker in more than 75 countries. He has handled many special assignments dealing with issues related to the Patent Cooperation Treaty, patent information, intellectual property and economic development, and was involved in the political process of the WIPO development agenda. Presently, he is project manager in the Office of the Deputy Director General, Development Sector, with special responsibility to manage, among other functions, the WIPO Match platform, an online tool to match seekers of specific IP-related development needs with potential providers offering resources, as well as being the focal person for South-South cooperation issues at WIPO. This service amplifies WIPO's resources and multiplies existing partnerships. WIPO Match is not only a platform for technical assistance projects, but also a platform that can bring new business opportunities for an integrated IP and innovation projects. For example, public-private partnerships and South-South cooperation projects. Mr. Wibowo holds a master's degree in engineering and also a master's degree in management from the École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne in Switzerland. And then our second speaker is Ms.Emma Francis, who is an IP data expert, standards section in the International Classifications and Standards Division at WIPO. So Ms. Francis is currently the IP data expert in the standard sections at WIPO and has held this role for 2 years. Prior to coming to work at WIPO, Emma joined the Emma worked at IP Australia, the Australian Patent, Trademark, Designs and Plant Breeders' Rights Office, in a variety of roles, including patent examiner, patent analyst, and as a data analyst in the economic research group there. She has spent over 16 years working in the IP sector. As well as managing the development of technical standards for use in intellectual property data governance, a large part of her role currently is the project management of the WIPO Sequence development project. This software tool is being developed to support both IP offices and applicants around the world in their transition to the use of a new WIPO standard for capturing sequence listing data, WIPO standard ST.26. Emma has a master's degree in engineering and a bachelor's degree in computer science. So with that, I will hand it over to Bajoe for his presentation on WIPO Match.
Thank you, Daniel, for the presentation, and thank you to BVGH for the opportunity to address today. So, as you know, we are now going through a very challenging time with this pandemic, and this pandemic has completely disrupted all the communication for the past year to the point that now, since most of the attendees here are from R&D, from scientists, it has made the thing very complicated to interact and to do the business, without being able to travel. So WIPO Match is one initiative which was launched about 8 years ago, and it was put in place. It really took off in 2016. And WIPO Match is basically, as was presented by Daniel, a platform which facilitates the connection between different stakeholders in the area of intellectual property to do innovation and private-public partnership project. So let me start now with this very inspiring quote of the great Steve Jobs, who said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Be the market leader, take risk, innovate, and excel." In this pandemic time, we had to innovate the way of communicating. Just before this presentation, we were talking with Emma and Daniel. So we would have never been able maybe to reach so many people in a virtual manner. Maybe we cannot meet in person for the time being, but this virtual part has also its benefit. And if you are a scientist, I think during the past 2-3 days, you have gone through a number of important presentations from colleagues of WIPO, different platform which was presented to you. It's good to know how to file a patent application. It's good to know how to file a trademark, and also to know that there are a number of platforms available to facilitate your work. But the other challenge now that we are facing is how are we going to bring our innovation to the commercialization stage? How are we going to reach a more potential, I would say, stakeholders who will be buying your product as well? And in this globalized world, unlike in the 50s, when everything was orientated into a pyramidal structure, if the CEO or the president of a company or research institution did not want to share information, it was impossible for anyone to get information. But now, with this globalized network, we have to take the most of it. And of course, at your level in the different countries, you have access to the Ministry of Science, Technology, or the IP office, which are our traditional main stakeholders. But how now are you going to do business during pandemic time? WIPO Match appears to be now one of the trusted platform which can accompany you also. Anyone from developing worlds, from countries in transition, and also from industrialized countries can use this platform. And this is also in line with the vision of our new Director General, basically to demystify intellectual property, to make it available to everyone so all stakeholders can participate, but also can benefit from it. So the community of WIPO Match is, as you can see here, is huge. We have, of course, our 3 main sectors now within WIPO, which is called Global Challenges and Partnership Sector, which is the sector which is co-organizing this event with BVDGH. We have also the IP and Innovation Ecosystem Sector, a new sector which has been created, and the sector where I work, which is the Regional and National Development Sector, which cover all regions of the world. And the purpose of it basically is not to duplicate our work, but is to try to streamline our existing resources. WIPO Match, when we started in the beginning to work on the private-public partnership, was not so, I would say it took some time before it took off. Because in 2016, when we started WIPO Match for the first time, our traditional partners were not used to work online as we have been doing now. And it is important today that with the I would say the technological facilities, we can reach out easily more partners in different parts of the world. So as you can see, we have foundation, we have NGO, universities, all stakeholders are represented in WIPO Match community. Today, our community, our growing community is represented by 120 partners from 53 countries, and as you could see here, with 6 UN agencies. And among the 6 UN agencies, I would like also to mention about 3 global partners that we are working with. The first one is United Nations Connect 2030, which is the United Nations platform to support science, technology, innovation. And WIPO Match has been also helping them in setting up this huge platform. And we're also part of the United Nations South-South Galaxy, which is a platform hosted by the UN South-South Cooperation Office in New York, which facilitates South-South partnerships. And the new one, which is about to join also WIPO Match, is the UN Technology Bank, which also give access to certain technology, one of the initiatives of the former Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, to facilitate the access of technology to developing countries as well. And what is also interesting in this strategic partnership that WIPO Match has developed is with the Islamic Development Bank. Islamic Development Bank has 57 member states, and WIPO signed for the first time with a multilateral development bank the first MOU of its history with, and Islamic Development has made available a fund of $500 million to spur innovation. And recently, early this year, first meeting took place officially, a webinar with the Director General of WIPO and the President. And now a number of projects are being triggered. And of course, all of you who are present here can participate in this program. And I can give you more information after my presentation through an email. The other thing that I wanted also to share is also, you see, WIPO Match is a synergistic amalgam of vision. The vision of WIPO is basically, as I mentioned to you, is to work towards a balanced ecosystem where everyone can participate, And then in the case of Islamic Bank, as I mentioned to you, they want to empower the people into a sustainable future, by building global partnership. This is exactly what we have been doing with these kind of webinars, because BVGH is also doing this work to match scientists with the right IP stakeholder in specific area in neglected tropical disease, for example. And of course, WIPO Match is basically to empower the innovativeness and creativity, and any project, can come to WIPO Match, and we will help. Of course, for the time being, we are a small team, but I believe now that with this new vision of the Director General, this kind of platform will be strengthened without any doubt. What are now the current opportunities? I just want to share with you some of the opportunities. I already told you before, Connect 20, South-South Galaxy Technology Bank. These are the main initiative one of the main initiatives of the United Nations. We have been working together because, as you know, everyone is facing the same challenges: financial constraint, financial human resource. So in order to avoid, to duplicate work, it's better to work as the motto of WIPO, to work as one and not as many ones. And now within the framework of the South-South Cooperation, we have been trying also now to work with the other agency on specific area of technologies, where basically we can, join hands together, and instead of using the money in duplicating the same work, we try to maximize it. This is the spirit also through which WIPO Match is working. Islamic Bank, I just mentioned to you. Another very interesting project from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria, who is the former Deputy Director General of WIPO. He has now decided not to put in place a matchmaking platform to attract innovation and investment and trade into Nigeria through the different embassies spread in the world, through the 109 embassies. And we are now working with the Nigerian government to put in place a kind of matchmaking platform based on the architecture of WIPO Match, to facilitate, this exchange. So any ambassadors of Nigeria, for example, in this specific project, could after that just give the link of their project, and we will facilitate, the matchmaking with the partners who might be interested in Nigeria and doing something, a business to do innovation. These are the things that is being in the pipeline. And once we do this kind of thing, of course, it can be replicated easily to any countries. But this is also the spirit of WIPO Match. All the members of the community have the same, I would say, like-minded approach towards supporting development. We are here to support development, irrespective of where you are located in the world. Then after that, you have also another important project, which is with the government of India, with NRDC, the National Research Development Corporation, which has made available on the pro bono, more than 200 technologies in different fields, agriculture, COVID, that they have made available for free for within the framework of Southern Corporation. But for private companies, we might find also room to do business with them as well, to empower this kind of project. INPE Brazil is another very interesting part. After President Bolsonaro was appointed a few years ago as the president, he empowered the Office of Intellectual Property of Brazil to give more space to strengthen the position of innovation and how to do business with other countries, in the world from the perspective of Brazil. And of course, another very interesting innovation thing, which is coming from Indonesia, the University of Gadjah Mada in Indonesia has developed a new diagnosis tool for COVID, but based on breath, and this is now today we know what is the PCR test. It is quite expensive. It takes time, but this new technology, which has been developed in Indonesia, has been marketed now in Indonesia, a market of almost 300 million people in all airport, in all harbor, train station, and this technology has expressed. It seems to interest a number of people in different parts of the world, and that is also the kind of project that we're trying to develop. We facilitate, we help. We are here just basically to accompany, the people, because the traditional mandate of WIPO is mainly to administer the different treaties, and now we have a number of platforms. But now, with this new vision of the new Director General, we would like also to help, to give them more access to different network that is not necessarily accessible if you are not with the right partners. So this is in short, what I wanted to share with you, since the time is very short. And now I would like also to give the floor to my colleague Emma, who is going to talk about a very interesting subject. Thank you.
Thanks, Bayo. Can you stop sharing your screen so I can take over?
No, sorry.
Of course. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for participating in the workshop today. I'm quite excited to be talking to IP professionals who may not be aware of our standard or the work of our team. I know at dinner parties, when I try and explain my job at WIPO, it takes me about half an hour. Yes, so I work in the standards division at WIPO. So as a member of the team, we work on standards to ensure that data is exchanged between offices in an efficient manner, and the data exchange can be automated, and also they're important for data storage. Today I want to talk about WIPO sequence. And specifically, the relevant standard here is WIPO standard ST26. Because this is quite a niche field, I want to run through today the what, where, how, and why of filing a sequence listing. So starting with what is a sequence listing? The formal definition in WIPO standard ST26 is a part of the description of a patent application as filed, or a document filed subsequently to the patent application, which includes the disclosed nucleotide and or amino acid sequence, along with any further description as prescribed by this standard. So that's quite a formal definition. It's quite concise. So let me unpack this a little. It's basically if you have a patent application that includes some sort of genetic resource, and it has more than 4 amino acids or more than 10 nucleotide bases, then you're going to have to provide a supplement to the patent application that provides a more formal definition of exactly what these amino acids and DNA sequences are. So these type of patent applications range from pharmaceuticals, genetically modified foods, methods of detecting chemicals, and medical treatments. And the idea with WIPO standard ST26 is that we provide a formal structure for you to be able to store all of this information. So now on to where. I was interested to see, and I hope that you will all be interested too, is to see exactly what PCT applications. So by PCT applications, I hope you're aware these are the international filings, international patent applications. Just looking at countries as represented by participants for the workshop today, and whether they're filing applications that include a sequence listing. So as you can see here, the numbers are quite small, except for South Africa and Brazil. So Brazil with 335 applications, PCT applications, where there was an applicant who originated from Brazil, and 165 from South Africa. As a reference point, there are 83,267 US applicants who were involved with a PCT application that had, and the applicant originated from the United States of America. So this is something that we need to work on through workshops like this to ensure there is at least awareness and applicants from other countries other than the United States are able to participate in filing their own sequence listings. Okay, now on to the why. So from January 1, 2022, all file sequence listings must be compliant with WIPO standard ST26. This is at all levels, so international level with a PCT application, at the national level and the regional level. So it's important that all patent applicants are aware of this change. Currently, applications that have a sequence listing, the recommendation is that the sequence listing comply with a text format, which is a standard called ST25. It's a text format. It's somewhat inconsistently used, and not a lot of information can be provided using this format, but that's currently what patent applicants have available to them. And now finally onto the how. So WIPO Sequence is a tool that we are developing at WIPO to support officers and applicants in being able to transition to the use of this new standard, WIPO standard ST26. So we have several components shown here in this diagram. WIPO Sequence. So WIPO Sequence is the name of a tool suite that includes a desktop tool, which is for use by applicants, a validator microservice, which is incorporated into an IP office environment. And also there's a component here at WIPO where we use to manage updates to all the releases. So this diagram here shows the relationships between all the different components within the tool suite. So here, obviously, the most relevant component is the WIPO Sequence desktop tool. So using the WIPO sequence desktop tool, applicants are able to author and validate their sequences by entering information that's relevant to their DNA, RNA, or amino acid sequences into a desktop tool. And then they're able to validate to ensure that the information they have entered is consistent, is compliant with the standard, and they've provided all the information required. And then from there, the tool will generate the sequence listing for them. So then it's only necessary to provide this along with the patent application at filing with the national office or international office. So we're currently working on the second phase of development for the WIPO sequence project, hoping to provide the second stable release in August of this year, well in advance of the Big Bang implementation date of 1st January 2022 next year. So here I provide one of our demo videos, which we use in training, just to give you an idea of the interface of the desktop tool and the kind of functionality that you can use that is available within the tool as an applicant. So I'm just going to start this short video. So this is the project homepage, and now we're entering an individual project. So the user here is drafting sequence information. You'll note by the stars, these are the fields that are necessary to be entered in order to have a valid sequence. So the molecule type, the individual residues. It's also necessary to enter an organism name and the specific type of molecule type, specific type of DNA that's being used here. So then this sequence has been entered into the project. Further to sequence information, you're also able to add features which provide specific description on particular residue or residue ranges within a sequence. So here, this gene feature is being added at the location 4 to 12, and finally qualifiers. So qualifiers here, there is being a free text note that is being added to provide additional information and ensure there's no confusion regarding this feature. And that's the end of the video. So you would have noted from there was also at the top of the project an opportunity to enter bibliographic information. So this bibliographic information is used to associate the separate sequence listing with the associated project application, patent application, sorry. So just if you're interested in further information on this topic, we have a WIPO sequence, we have our own webpage at the link shown here, which provides the downloadable binaries for the WIPO sequence desktop tool, as well as a user manual, which should hopefully support your use. We're intending on, in the first half of this year, providing a series of training series for WIPO sequence and WIPO standard ST26, which will be advertised through the link shown here. And finally, I provide a link to the standard itself, because that is why I'm here and the whole purpose of the tool, and all the relevant information as an applicant is contained within the standard. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you both for your presentations. For anyone who would like to submit questions to either of our presenters, please either raise your hand or put them in the Q&A box. Yes, we'd invite you to do that now. So I think we have quite a bit of time. So I'd be interested just maybe to ask Bajoe to kind of kick off the discussion with you mentioned some of the examples of different collaborations or initiatives through WIPO Match. Is there anything that you, maybe examples or different projects that you've worked on that kind of fall within the global health space or that would be
Yes.
interesting to our audience members?
Yes. Last year during this pandemic, to be honest, I was when all of us were blocked in our home. I was honestly not very positive about how the collaboration will start. But for me, for WIPO Match at least, it has been a blessing. A blessing in the sense that people realized that they were obliged to communicate in a way or another. Of course, it took us a few weeks before we get used to communicate through webinar, to WebEx call or in virtual manner. And last April 2020, I mean a year ago, we were contacted by one of our members of WIPO Match community, which is the University of Tech Monterrey from Mexico. And in anticipation of the COVID, they were requesting us whether we could help in connecting to the major producer of ventilators within the framework of COVID, and willing to give, or basically on a free basis, maybe the basic one, at least the basic ventilators, so that they can reproduce it, in Mexico, in anticipation of the growing pandemic, which has touched, of course, Mexico. And through WIPO Match, we were able to connect with Volkswagen Mexico and SEAT Spain and another company from Spain on artificial intelligence, and we were able to basically approach them directly and say, look, we have now this kind of request. Are you willing to give us some technology for free, so that, because for humanitarian purpose and reason? And at the end, they all agreed, after we tried with different partners from United States, from Germany. Not that they did not want to help, but at the end, it's just a matter of the right momentum with the right partners. And at the end, we were able to produce 50 devices in Puebla, in Mexico, in Volkswagen Mexico. So some of the ventilators, and about 5,000 are about to be processed, to be made available to all the hospital in case of needs. This is one of the examples we have done, within the framework of the COVID. Honestly, this is not the standard kind of project that we're doing at WIPO, but this has happened like that. And from that moment, I remember always the wise Mandela who keeps saying, it seems always impossible until it is done. So in this case, we made it, because we were all, motivated by good intention to help. And this is how WIPO Match has become more and more, popular, because it's a very simple way. We just need to send, to register. It's a free platform. And then we don't make miracles, but at least we're trying to open the network, to create more opportunities, and that is what we have been doing at WIPO Match.
Great, yeah, thank you. And I'm wondering if people in the audience are interested in getting involved in WIPO Match. What is kind of what's the process? Should they reach out to you, or is there a place that they could look for more information?
So basically, what I would propose after, since our time is quite limited, but I will explain you now. But I will send you an email that you may wish to send to all the participants with more detail. I guess my colleague Emma might wish also to join my mail so that we can give more detail. So we have a platform. We have I would say, a website, WIPO Match website, where people can just register, as a supporter or as a potential donor. And then once they register, if they want to be just supporter, because we have three kind of categories of people. The supporters are the people basically who are just supporting the concept of WIPO Match, basically supporting development project, but without being a real donor or seeker. But later they might become seeker or donor for a specific project, or you have a donor and seeker, standard, and if you're a supporter, you will be always kept in the loop in all developments. As now our program has been expanding in a very important manner, and we were talking about genetic resources before, and we have also a fantastic project on genetic resource that involve 4 African countries, one in Indonesia, and they all decided to share their knowledge and experience to try to do a kind of South-South cooperation, in this kind of project. And at the end, of course, in the genetic, we know that the value of data is very important, how data can be used. And this is also a strategic, commercial possibility that some of your members in the audience may be interested also to join. And of course, our colleague, I've seen that our colleague Shakil made a presentation on that as well. Shakil and Van, the director of the TK division, have been also involved into that kind of thing. And this is what we could probably, offer as new opportunity in this specific area. But it's very simple. Otherwise, I will give you my contact detail. If it's too complicated to go to the WIPO, you can just send an email, and then after that, our WIPO Match team will contact them directly. And then we, of course, since you are the matchmaker, we will also keep you in the loop, everything we do.
Great. And I think from what I remember of your slides, you had that there's different countries involved. So if, just for example, one of the participants in the audience is their institution is in a country that's not currently involved, is that an issue? Do you have to have kind of the government involved, or it could be just on an institutional level?
No. We are very, very, very. The only thing that we ask is just to, we will inform. It's important to inform the IP office, our traditional partner, and the regional desk officer of WIPO. I will do it. We will do it. In WIPO, because we are working as one. So we are complementing. Also WIPO Match purpose is also to complement the growing demand which are coming to WIPO, and we cannot cope with all these demands. That is why this is, because we have the three traditional way of supporting project, from developing world or countries in transition. We usually tend to in the past receive written requests. Can you help to do a webinar on, or no, not a webinar, a meeting on enforcement on IP or whatever subject, to do a promotional event on trademark. But now, since all the world have seen the value of IP, now it's getting very complicated, and we have to prioritize. Of course, we have 192 countries. We cannot, it's not that we cannot. It will be logistically impossible. And in addition to that, the financial constraint is also another challenge. So therefore, now, in addition to some fund allocated by government, like Korea, like China, or other countries like that, so we are now offering this WIPO Match, which is the third option now to, if a project cannot be realized immediately, we don't say that we will help, we will make it happen, but at least we will try to help, and connect to the right person. And I know that there are many, matchmaking platforms in the world, but we're probably the one which are more customized, and we know what is the IP, of course, but we know also the right partners. And again, we are the trusted platform for IP issues. WIPO is the reference things, because don't forget, the moment you disclose information, you don't want this information to be stolen or to be in the hand of people who have not good intention with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great, thank you. And maybe just a question for Emma. So I know that some of the people in our audience are involved with kind of university IP offices. So if they're interested in, for example, downloading the WIPO sequence software, at what, I guess, what would be your recommendation for those individuals if they want to get kind of technical help or learn how to better use the platform? Is there are there like video recordings to show people how to use it, or is there kind of live help that's available? What are the resources for people who are interested?
Yeah, I would recommend that everyone who is interested in protecting their sequence listing with IP go to our homepage at WIPO Sequence, WIPO Sequence homepage on the WIPO website. The link I provided in the further information slide. From this page, as I indicated there, you can download the tool. It's available on Mac, Windows, and Linux platforms. There's also an extensive user manual provided there. So we are currently developing, so we provided a single first stable release in November last year. And so the manual that is published there is to support use of the first stable release. We're currently improving the product based on feedback we received during testing during development of the first project. We received a lot of feedback from primarily from IP officers because there was not really an awareness at the end user level of the development of this project, development of this product as yet. And this is something we're hoping to promote further because we really do need feedback from the end users, the people who will actually be using the product to generate their sequence listings. So yes, we're in the second development phase, and we're currently producing beta releases every 3 or 4 weeks, which officers and end users who've nominated to be part of the testing group are providing feedback on. So I would start by going to the webpage, downloading the first stable release, using the user manual to guide your initial testing. And then if you have any further questions, I would send them to standards@wipo.int, which is where all our testing feedback and customer service gets sent through that generic email address.
Perfect, thank you. Well, I'm not seeing any Q&A or more questions coming in. So I think we can wrap up, but is there, we do have a little bit of extra time. Is there anything more that, final comments that either of our speakers would like to make at this point?
So, yeah, I mean, what I would propose is sometimes, even in a virtual, people can be very shy to express some question. So in order to overcome this shyness, I would send an email to you from Emma and myself, and then we will attach some additional information. And then if the audience, some of the participants have interest in working with us, we'll be very, very happy to follow up with them. And I think it is the best. And I was also very pleased to hear that this video will be also made available somewhere. So I think it's also very good for our audience to, those who have not been able to attend, to look at it later. Hello, Charles.
Perfect. Yes, I think Charles would like to just say a couple of words.
Well, good morning and almost afternoon to my colleagues here in Geneva. I have been following quite closely, and as we wrap up this morning's session, I just wanted to say thank you to Emma and to Bajoe for their excellent presentations and for taking the time. As Bajoe mentioned, this is really part of WIPO is working as one. We're all contributing our expertise from the various parts of the organization for a good cause. So anyways, I'll stop there. I just wanted to say thank you and thanks for your time and wish everybody a great rest of the day.
Yes, thank you, Charles. And thank you, Bajoe and Emma, for your presentations. I think with that, we'll wrap up our morning session. And we'll be on break now until, let's see, 1:30 p.m. European time, where we'll have our theme 11 and our final session. So we hope to see everyone back for that session. But thanks everyone for your participation this morning, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you, Daniel and Emma.
Thanks
Bye,
very
everyone.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Charles. Bye,
Everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Chimanga.
Bye. Thank you.